Hi everyone, Shweta back again with this week's mini video lesson rather. This week's overarching theme will be change and is change, as you saw in my last LinkedIn post on how to navigate through changes in the workplace and how to communicate that to your patients. Now, this video is actually going to focus on how to develop a mindset in order to accept and embrace changes in the workplace. And again, this will be a three-part series where today I will talk about the mindset. Next week will be about how to communicate and integrate the changes within your workplace, in your organization, amongst your colleagues. And the week after will be how to communicate this with your patients using the relevant words and phrases. Now, just a bit of a background. So as humans, we are conditioned from a very young age to resist change. We are conditioned to stay in our comfort zone and be comfortable in the familiar. And that's why inherently we are programmed to not really embrace change instantly. And we sort of build walls around it. It happens to everyone, including me. I was one of those too at one point. And interestingly, the radiology job that I currently work for, it was actually one of the questions I got for my job interview, or during my job interview, that what is your attitude to change, and how do you deal or adapt with the constant changes in the workplace? And I had come up with a good answer for that based on the work and life experience I've had, where I have experienced and have had to navigate changes through every single walk of life that you can imagine. So in order to develop a good mindset, or really shift your mindset towards being more positive, receptive, and flexible to change, I again have 4 key tips on how you can reframe your mind to be more receptive to change. So number 1 would be to address, embrace, and communicate your feelings regarding this change. So if you are hit with a change, whether it's sudden or whether it's planned, you are going to have a reaction of some sort. Whether it could be positive, it could be negative, it could be anything. So it's important to acknowledge, address, and accept those feelings, and even articulate it somehow to people you can trust, or write it down cathartically, or have a recorded version of it, like what I'm doing currently. So expressing your feelings towards that change is the first step. Whether it's negative or positive, it doesn't matter. The second important tip I would give is to be flexible and resourceful. What that means is that flexibility means that you have to come to terms with the fact that things will not be the same as before. And in many cases, things will not go according to plan, and it will be bumpy, and it will be not smooth. It will not just go, everything will fall into place. That's not going to happen in the early days. So it's important to be flexible and, as we say in English, roll with the punches, and take each day as it comes, and also be resourceful in terms of getting the support and getting not only physical resources, like resources you have on your internet and everything like that, but in the workplace specifically, connecting more with colleagues and connecting more with your team leader or fellow colleagues, anyone who you can turn to get more tips and strategies and tactics on how to become more flexible and adaptable. So the big word pivot that we all heard of in 2020, that's what I'm referring to. So to pivot, be flexible, be adaptable, and sort of mold yourself into whatever change gets thrown at you. Now, the third main and very, very vital process in embracing and being more receptive to change is communicate. So that means that you actively listen to people who you work with about what the change is, how it's going to impact, how things will work, how it's going to impact the organization, and what you are meant to do in the process. And assuming that a lot of organizations, including myself, where we had our recent change, you will be given a training, you'll be given heads up, play full out during those sessions, and actively listen during those sessions, participate, ask as many questions as possible, clarify information, and get support and feedback. That's very important. So when you have got a taste of what the change is, get as much information as possible, get clarification, get support and feedback, and participate in as much as possible, so that you are well prepared when you have to actually execute that implement. And number 4, and most importantly, is incrementally experiment with different areas of the change. Now, what I mean by that is, if, say, a small change has been incorporated and that changes the way that you do a certain process or perform a certain type of procedure, whatever it might be, experiment with it bit by bit. So, and also remember that you're not going to get it right straight away. So it'll take a lot of practice and it'll take a lot of trial and error. And evaluate the results of how, when you were in the experimental stage, and evaluate yourself on how you went with that and how it impacted your performance, and reflect on how, slow in step by step, how you work through different areas of the thing. So these are the 4 main steps to developing a more positive mindset shift towards being more adaptable and receptive to change. So just to recap, number 1 is address and accept your feelings. Number 2 is being flexible and resourceful. Number 3 is communicating. And number 4 is experimentation. So hope that was useful and valuable to you. As always, if people don't know me, I am an ESL coach. I coach healthcare professionals from non-English speaking countries who work closely with patients to improve their communication skills with patients in order to achieve workplace excellence and build better relationships and communities in the place of work. Hope you found this video valuable, and thank you for watching and sticking around, and I will see you same time next week with part 2 of this. Thank you. Have a good day.